We came to Escalator because we had a revenue stream and we had product in the market. We're doing about 85% of our business export. But we didn't have the connections to the investors, and we didn't feel the company was quite prepared to go forward with an investment proposal. So we wanted to work on that, and Escalator helped us do it. As it turns out, we were oversubscribed and ended up raising a bit over 60% more than we had initially anticipated. But just as important is we got 2 new investors and 2 new board members, which are going to be very helpful in us in growing the business. Our advisor through the process was really valuable to us, connections in the industry, and brought us to see a large number of really good investors and really qualified people. But when it came down to it, and the deal, and helping us through the terms and the arrangements and so on, and even the negotiation, he had a genuine interest in the outcome and in making sure that it worked for everybody, and it was a fair, appropriate deal. Some of the lessons that we learned was, and I'm sure that people have heard this before, but don't underestimate the amount of time that's necessary to do it. It took about 12 months from the time we began investigating what was necessary to the point where we were actually able to close it. In the last couple of months, I probably spent a good 50 or 75% of my time working on it. And fortunately, I had people in the business that could help me because in some ways you're ignoring the business while you're doing that, but it's key. Another lesson that we learned through the process was to know what's negotiable and what's not, and push back on the things that are most important to you. One of the things people get hung up on, I think, is valuation. And for me, that wasn't as important because there's other aspects to the deal that are just as important. And for us, it was keeping it simple, keeping it clean, and making sure that our employees were well taken care of as well. By making the deal as simple as you can, and they're never exactly simple, but by simplifying it as much as possible for us allows us to have good, easy governance as we go forward, and puts the board in a great position to work with the company. Another thing that helped us in the process was, of course, we had a revenue stream going in and a history of a couple of years worth of sales and products in the market. That created some appetite amongst investors in the sense that they're willing to discuss it with us and talk with us about it. Not everyone's going to get it. Not everybody's going to understand your idea, or not everyone's going to agree with your business proposition. And you'll actually learn from that process as well, because they'll give you feedback, and you might even change or grow your thinking around it. The Essential Guide to Capital workshop was my introduction to the Escalator program, and I went to that, got us started in thinking what was necessary, what we needed to do, what we needed to prepare, who we needed to talk to, and what we needed to learn. So the pitching workshop helped me to refocus my presentation and make it concise and valuable to potential investors.
And did it work with investors?
I think it worked quite well, and we had lots of opportunity to practice it. I certainly would recommend Escalator. What Escalator did for us primarily was to help us through the process and help us to understand the process and connect us with the people that we needed to help make it happen.